Hello, this is Sri Liu. You're watching The Shift Asia. In 2023, Renuka Senna, co-founder and CEO of 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀, was appointed as the national expert for the World Summit Awards, or WSA. WSA is a global competition recognizing digital innovations that positively impact society. It connects startups, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders across 182 UN member states, promoting digital solutions that address local challenges and advance the UN SDGs. So every year, upwards of 900 nominations are submitted by national experts from around the world, and only 5 global winners from 8 categories are selected by a global jury. The national winner for the business and commerce category for 2024 was GoBarakah. More excitingly, there also emerged global winners. So GoBarakah is a smart giving platform that enhances donor transparency and beneficiary dignity by facilitating secure donations through e-vouchers. I'm here with Audri Zin to find out more. Audri, congratulations.
Thank you, Frida.
And I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing. But you know, how do you think this win, before we go into your business, will help your business?
Okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me and GoBarakah. We are very happy to have won the Malaysian and then the global business commerce
Recognized
category.
Globally, yeah.
Yeah. So we are very happy that basically the business and commerce category is to recognize fintechs that do financial inclusion, also that enables efficiencies in transactions.
Right.
So basically, we are very happy with this award because it's not only just validation from the international community. It's also showing that we are actually solving real problems in communities. So it's very important for us, also for credibility, because the juries come from the UN SDG background. Yeah. So they're very critical. How do you hit your SDG goals? They're very.
We know all about donations and giving. When did you realize that this was a business need?
Okay. My background personally, we have done refugee assistance. So because they're not underbanked, and they have some documentation problems. But during the pandemic, we were promoting some of the merchants through another platform that me and my partner created. So we realized that when we give cash to refugees, there are certain risks to it, terrorist financing, diversion scams, everything. There's a high risk to that. So we started to actually want to find a way how to track, is the money spent for medical as you claim that you need? And we also wanted to have a better way which does not involve bank accounts to trace the donations. So when we first built this platform, it was on the backdrop of that, trying to solve that. And we realized that we spoke to 60 organizations when we built this platform. So there is a very strong need and strong talk about transparency and traceability. Because of the issues I spoke about, it doesn't just involve refugees, it involves all underserved communities. We see sometimes organizations, there are a lot of organizations doing good work, but also sometimes inadvertently or not. There's a lot of abuse and gatekeeping of beneficiaries. Because so Malaysians are very generous people.
And then so you don't know whether the funds are reaching the right people and for the right purpose.
And there's no way to trace it. There's no tool. You have to rely on reports. And human reports.
Humanly made, right?
Humanly made,
So what's your business model though?
Okay, so our business model, first of all, our big aim is we want to enable trusted transactions from donor to beneficiaries. Trusted transaction, that means we're using fintech technology to trace. Like to put it simply, if you buy something from Shopee, right? You get the airway bill. So the airway bill traces sender right to recipient. So we built something like that. But the redemption point is redeemed by vendor partners. Okay, why do we do that? When we talk about social assistance, we try to help them with essential needs, food, grocery, back to school. It's not everything. We don't help them pay their loan or something. It's essential needs. So we want to make sure that this money is not diverted. You spend it where it's supposed to be. If it's a grocery assistance, you buy your grocery with it. If it's back to school, it's your kids that get the uniforms. So these are critical areas that a lot of people donate towards.
Yeah.
But there's no way of finding out really does the money go to those things or even to your dependents.
Right.
So the business model is that instead of taking the donation money, we get vendors to contribute
Right.
transactional fees
Right.
to the platform every time a voucher is redeemed.
So a percentage goes to you.
Yeah, very
Okay.
small percentage goes to us every time. For example, if the vendor agreement is they're sharing with us 1%, so if someone spends 100 ringgit voucher with them, we pay the vendor 99 ringgit. Yeah, so that's a different business model than that's typical of management fees or unpublished management fees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and for people who are interested to whether it's people or organizations, what do they? You were talking about what medical? What are they?
There's medical, education, utility assistance,
Back to school,
grocery.
Okay.
The pathway is different. How you redeem it is different. So we also work with 𝗪𝗏 to help them distribute their cash bursary.
Okay.
So we validate the beneficiary database from schools, validate the income. So we are their partner for 2 years in a row. To distribute their cash.
You also, from education
bursary.
fees to, you also give cash.
Cash e-voucher. That means they redeem it to their own bank account. We're not a bank, or we would fall under the regulations, license, money remittance, or all those. We're just a platform that enables traceability.
Okay.
So when organizations give e-voucher in the form of cash redemption, they're actually instructing us, okay, put this in my 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. Yeah, so we just pass through and we track.
What has been most popular when you talk about all the different needs? What has been most in demand that you've seen?
Most in demand is grocery.
Okay.
And it depends on the season. Now it's back to school. So the typical way was that organizations would pay this vendor a sum of money, and then deliver their school uniforms. But what happens is sometimes we find that there's a size mismatch. It's actually all the time. So sometimes the schools or the beneficiaries get 4XL. Sizes that don't really move in the market is given to them. So because vendors are not in social assistance, I get the money, you give me so much leeway to decide. So you get a lot of wastage there. And teachers would not know how to actually return unclaimed clothes, school uniforms. So that is where there's donor wastage and very high. We've seen it ourselves. That's why we wanted a way where beneficiaries can actually shop and choose. That's the inclusion bit. You choose what you need. Sometimes they don't need uniforms, they need stationaries. So they spend it at Outpost or partners at 𝗪𝗐𝗐 or 𝗪𝗏𝗃. They choose themselves what the kid needs. And there's no waste there in a sense, because we let them decide and based on their needs and timing. Sometimes they don't spend early of the year. They spend it much later because they say, I already got some money from zakat for school uniform. So I don't need it now.
Okay.
So in a typical way, last time it would be like, I'm going to give you school uniform anyway, even if you've gotten 3. Yeah, even though you don't have a need for it. So when we voucherize the donations, that's a lot of wastage. So when we voucherize the donations, it's actually more choice for the beneficiaries.
So you've had over 1,500 beneficiaries today?
Yeah, more than that.
More than that now.
Yeah.
Where are they mostly from? And like in terms of location, and I guess even like you were saying, not just locals but also foreigners. So where are they mostly from?
Okay, our beneficiaries mostly come from nominations from trust organizations. We work with a welfare department. We work with schools. So they are like we work based on a shared KYC, something that other organizations or banks don't do is shared. That means you nominate vendor is a second step of KYC as well. So most of these people are urban poor students, zakat verified asnaf, and gig workers.
Okay,
so those are the most on our platform
so
now.
gig workers and students, all right.
Students,
You're saying urban poor students, right?
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of partners, what kind of partners are you looking for, and is it easy to find these partners?
Right. On our platform, our partners would be organizations who do the programs. They use our e-vouchering system as a way to fundraise or distribute.
Okay.
Or funders. That means the money is coming from them, but they're not the program owner, or vendors. So these are the business developments that we do. So in the first year, we prioritized business development with vendors because they're the way to redeem our vouchers. So that's where we focused on. and we want to extend our reach so that there's no blackout areas for beneficiaries to use it. So in the previous, when people tried to give vouchers, why it failed is that the beneficiary location don't match where the vendors are, especially when you're talking about OKU, PWDs, or elderlies. They can't really go out and drive. So we're establishing, even if there is a mom and pop shop in front of your house, we can onboard them as vendor. They just need to register. It's free, and they can receive the e-vouchers, and we pay the vendor.
Would you like? Are you looking at corporations coming in as part of their S in the ESG as well?
Yes. We like to work with all companies who are in the funds for good, corporate CSR, for people who want to hit their ESG, SDG.
Has any of these bigger companies come and approach you?
We work with banks. We work a lot with banks because of those things: transparency, traceability, and also reporting-wise, financial reporting. So we see a lot of different types of people. There's the zakat space, there is the CSR banks, there's family wealth. So it depends if they are very forward thinking, they want to do things in a new way. And we also work with NGOs. I mean, we're not here to compete or put anybody down. We're here to complement. Complement.
Helping them to make their life a lot easier.
Very easy.
Is the idea also then, can partners look towards tax exemptions?
They can do that with our partner. We are partnered with 𝗪𝗻𝗂𝘀𝗄𝐻, Malaysia, which is under MOF. So we have we ourselves do not give tax breaks because we don't fall under social enterprise yet. We were quite new. There's a certain criteria you have to meet. But at the moment, it's not a big ask yet for that. But we do have partnerships to enable that.
And how do people hear of GoBarakah? I mean, is it through these NGOs that people hear about it, or how is the marketing for
How's the marketing? Usually we write on our partners' marketing. Like for Grab, when they launched their Grab bursary, there's a lot of news. There's a lot of social media posts. So they tag us. So we write on that. For credibility, we are doing like a top-down approach. Like. Also, when we work with GX Bank, they did a lot of PR and media. So because we are nobody in the beginning, so that's why WSA is so important as well. We were launched by Sri Nancy Shukri, the Women Family Community Minister. So that had some eyeballs, and it helped us open doors. It helped open doors with banks and corporates. But to answer what you asked, usually we do collaborative PR. And also, but they're much bigger than us. I mean, we're talking about banks. They have like a whole arm, I'm sure you know, that does PR.
So, and it's great, right? I mean, now with this global recognition, that really helps to open the doors even wider, right? So what's next for you, Audrey, in GoBarakah?
What's next for us? We want to have more beneficiaries using us, a more friendly face. We get approached by people saying, thank you very much, it's very easy for us to redeem donations, and it's more dignified. There's no need for you to parade poor people, take food baskets and all that. That's one way to do it, but this is another way to do it. And what's next is we want to have more users, more recognition, more partnerships overseas with pockets of organizations who want to use us.
Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I haven't asked you?
Basically, what people don't see sometimes is that donations can also support vice. So there's a lot of mentality in Malaysia that I'm just going to donate and just not think about it. I've done my part. But actually, you can support human trafficking with donations, where people kidnap children and amputate them, put them as beggars on the streets. You are enabling vice, terrorist financing. So we cannot be that kind of donor that I'm not interested to see what happens to my money.
Even though you have the money, that's not the point.
That's not the point. Even if you donate 10 ringgit times 1,000 people, you are enabling fraud, scams. So that is the thing that people don't realize what their money has the power to do. Either you support good or you support vice. And we've seen a lot in Malaysia as well, where that money can easily be used to abuse children. you know, it's like gatekeeping beneficiaries. Yeah.
So the objective is then go to reputable sources like GoBarakah.
Yeah, and try to know what happens to your money. So that's what we're trying to do. We enable organizations and public donors to have traceability. They're alerted this money went to this type of profile, and they can always audit and call the beneficiaries. So also, please visit GoBarakah.com. It's not an app. Anybody can just donate. Even public donors, if you have somebody like somewhere you want to donate back to school vouchers, you can instantly buy and they get it on their handphones and they can instantly go to a store that's listed on the voucher.
Okay.
Yeah. It's another way to not just give cash.
And you know that your money is being used effectively and the person gets the benefit.
Yeah, especially when it involves children and students. Yeah.
Something close to my heart. So thanks, Audrey, for doing the work with 𝗂𝗏𝗧, and of course, you know, emerging global winners as well.
Thank you so much.
Making Malaysia proud. And this has been The Shift Asia, and I'm Frida Liu.